Hey everybody, Ronroy here, and today I want to showcase my Absolution in-depth League Starter Guide. I think in Necropolis and further, Absolution is going to be a pretty decent option, especially after Summon Radiant Spirit was nerfed. I also think that Absolution will do one of the biggest amount of damage to bosses because it's a bossing build. On top of that, it can provide a pretty active gameplay when you can click a lot of buttons, when you can move around and do a lot of stuff at the same time while your minions are killing everything around you. I think it's pretty fun, and overall I really like Absolution from the moment that they added it to the game, so I always wanted it to have a little of spotlight. And I think right now it's just a perfect moment for it. So let's go further, and I will be able to tell you what you will need to do and how you will need to build that exactly from the start, from like level 1 to your maps and watchstones. Please feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you appreciate such form of content, and let's go. So at the first level we're starting with Rolling Magma, because it's a pretty decent spell. Just take Rolling Magma at the start and use a basic setup with Elemental Proliferation, since both of them can work just fine for you. The next quest reward will be Holy Flame Totem and Flame Wall. Both of them will help you to deal with your first set of monsters. You also need to take Frostblink as the first movement skill. And your next support will be Combustion support. So on top of that you can get added lightning damage support, and later on you will be able to buy shield charge as well. Minion damage support, when it will become available, is definitely recommended too. As next set of auras we are using Clarity and Vitality. At the start they're helping pretty nice. Here is Brutus Setup, with Rolling Magma, added lightning and Combustion. Brutus not really possess any threat. When you will get to Merveil, you will be able to get your Absolution skill, and you will be able to fight here with Absolution already. Absolution setup is pretty important, and you will need to get added lightning damage and added fire damage at the start. In the second act, you're already using Absolution and you will need to kill all 3 bandits. In Sharpened QoL you will be able to get physical to lightning support, and your setup will change to added fire and physical to lightning support. You also will be able to get new cool wands or looted if possible. Your first curse is going to be Elemental Weakness, so get it as fast as possible when it will be offered to you. You also will be able to purchase first aura 03 at the same time, so just get the 03. And as your first Ascendancy, you will need to take Radiant Crusade, because it will give you a Sentinel, which is completely amazing even after a slight nerfs in the Necropolis League. You also will need to deal with Zara, and as you can see on the screen, it's not really that hard. Absolution will need minion damage, added fire, and added lightning support. All of them together will help you to get through Dominus and further on. At Malachai, you are still using physical to lightning, minion, and added fire damage together with your Absolution. So in the Kitava setup, you're pretty much holding the same amount of gems, and there's not a lot of big changes. However, look forward for 5 links close to that point, and in the next further acts like Act 6 to Act 7 and 8, because at that point 5 links and bodies are already possible. However, even with the basic 4 links that we already showcased, you should have no issues with Kitava after all. So right after, moving to the Act 6, you're not receiving gems anymore, and you will need all your basic setups just set there. I really recommend to use Spirit Offering as fast as you can get it, together with Convocation if you will have enough slots. On top of that, you can get auras as fast as you can get the rest of them, because some of them will come a little later, especially Haste with Divine Blessing, because for that you will need Eldritch Battery. So talking about map setup, you can pretty much follow the same principle. You don't need anything in particular to stop mapping, and can just use the same items that you run the campaign with. On top of that, as a unique, I really recommend Learcast Festival Mask. It's a pretty good unique that can give you some additional damage to your minions. And in the later versions of mapping, you will need to focus on getting darkness and thorn. Any kind of percentage will work. It will be kind of expensive at the league start, so don't rush for it, and it should be there only for your later mapping versions. For later mapping versions, you can also look at Replica Dragonfang Flight with level 2 all Absolution gems. It should help you in like tier 16, but you should be able to complete both white, yellow and early red maps without adding anything on top of that. And even if you take it a little slower, even tier 16 will work for you just fine. On top of that, while progressing to the maps, you will need to look at the items, because a lot of your damage comes here from your wand together with your shield. At your shield you will just need Minion deals increased damage and Minion has increased critical strikes. Everything else is not that important, so just focus on 2 of those stats to improve your damage while you're reaching the maps. On your wand, you will need Minion has increased attack and cast speed, together with Minion has increased critical strike chance, and that's pretty much it. If you can get Minion deals increased damage on top of that, it would be perfect, but most of the time, just cast speed and criticals should be enough. As you're reaching further acts closer to 9 and 10 and going into early maps, critical strike chance for your minions will play much bigger role for your build. So try to upgrade your items accordingly, especially the wand. When you will join early maps or middle maps, you can also get a June craft for your wand. It will give you 2 socketed spells when you use a skill with 8 seconds cooldown bonus. That way you can pretty much automate using Elemental Weakness, Desecrate and Spirit Offering. All of them together will be automatically used every time when you're attacking, and it could be a huge quality of life update. Just focus on getting that bonus as fast as possible, but I don't really expect you to have it earlier than like middle maps. While you don't have it, you will need to cast both Elemental Weakness and Conductivity manually. Spirit Offering could be used in mapping or together with Desecrate on bossing, however that's a lot of buttons, and if you will need to choose, I recommend to prioritize Spirit Offering and Elemental Weakness on top of everything else, because they're providing enough damage for build to stack properly. So the Ascendancy Order, based on what we already showcased, should be Radiant Crusade first, Unwavering Crusade second, on top of that you're getting Bastion of Hope, and the last one will be Time of Need for removing Curse's ailments and regenerating 100% of life over 1 second. So that was my detailed guide for Absolution. Thank you very much for watching. I think it will be a pretty strong starter for Necropolis, and as a minion build it will be pretty easy to progress and transition forward if you will decide to try something else as well. Please like and subscribe for more RPG content, and see you next time.